Okay. So basic, the power of public speaking, why we do that, right? There is a message that you want to convey. There is there is an opinion that you want to share, right? So these are majorly the two reasons why you do public speaking. Now, public speaking doesn't have to involve public in large quantities. Even two is a crowd. Okay, that's also an idiom. Even two is a crowd. Okay, so when you sit in a meeting or when you are actually on a call, virtual call, that is also public speaking that you're doing. Okay, so that's when we want to, when we have a message to share or when we have an opinion to talk about, we do public speaking. Public speaking is also in a call, like we do a lot of virtual calls, right? Like day one and day two as well. That is also called as public speaking. It's a meeting, but you are speaking in public. So, the key elements of effective public speaking, let's look at that. First of all, there should be a headline, like there should be a proper understanding of the topic. There should be a topic in place that you are going to talk about. You have to tell that, hello everyone, good afternoon, I'll be talking about this. And then you start, because the moment you jump into a subject, until unless you define something for the next 30-40 seconds, I'll not get it. So first declare the topic that you're going to talk about so that the audience is ready. Okay, so today we are talking about trees. So I have to imagine a tree and then accept the information. We're talking about an apple. I'll imagine a red apple in my mind and then I'll take it. Right? Then the structure. The entire structure of your speech that you are doing should be should not be too much confused. If you have if you are confused or if you don't know about something, don't speak about it. Doesn't mean you leave the topic, but within that topic, whatever understanding you have, talk about that. That should be enough. Be clear on your opening. Your body of your speech should be explaining or effective enough, and conclusion should be powerful with a message that what you wanted to express, because the body of your speech is the story that you are trying to tell. Content. So first of all, know your content. Now these things will work really good if you have ample time to talk about. Okay, why are we talking about public speaking here, right? Why do we need, we know office etiquette, we know business communication, chalo ho gaya, done, I have technical knowledge. Why do I need public speaking? Okay, when you see something on your screen, right, suddenly one day in office, someone wants you to join some meeting which was not scheduled on your calendar. You don't even know what that group is actually sitting and discussing. You have to jump in and share your opinion. So unpredictability is ad hoc. I was talking, right? We work only ad hoc basis. The schedule thing is business as usual, but our main business is ad hoc. So for those things, you should be always be ready. Your brain should be trained in a way to think analytically when you see a word. Now, analytically, if you have to think, you will say it's maths thing, na? It's numbers. That no, you have to gauge the topic. When the moment you listen to a word, you hear a word, or let's say you hear a topic, what is being discussed, your mind should quickly imagine where you have heard this, in what context, what you know about it. Let's say it out in a structured manner within those seconds. Okay. Let's say you are pulled in a call where people are talking about a topic which you don't have a previous context about, or let's say it was not told to you that this topic will be discussed, or some suddenly you have been added. It is okay to take a 5 second pause. No one's gonna say, hey, you don't know about this or what. No one's gonna say that. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So I think, in my opinion, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's like that. That's the way you should go with it. Delivery, maintain eye contact. See, now I'm speaking. I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to see everybody in this room, even people sitting at the back, right? So that way, we are making everyone feel relevant to the topic. And no matter if they're able to hear my voice, if I put do an eye contact, it actually pushes my entire voice and the content towards that person subconsciously. So I'm making them more focused towards the speech that I'm giving, right? Use natural gesture. So now gestures are something, I can start doing something else which I'm not related. When I'm saying no, I'm shaking my hand. When I'm saying this person, that person, I'm just doing a soft, flick of my hand. You don't have to be really quick, not something like kung fu or something. Don't do that. Not needed. Project your voice. Like if I'm saying, "Hey Shamit, what are you doing?" Like if I'm asking him, my voice will raise a little bit because that's the projection, my brain's sense of distance. If I'm, you might have observed my voice modulation here. When I'm talking or when I'm taking some acknowledgement from Syed or Shireesh, my voice suddenly automatically goes low. What do you think? I don't have to shout at him. He's just beside me. The same tone that I'm using for it to be reached to the entirety of the room. But when I'm asking or talking to him, I don't have to. Okay. So this sense of voice dynamics, right? Intonation, voice modulation is really important. Automatically it will come in once you practice once or twice in one or two, three situations, it will automatically happen. Now for us it has been years, so obvious it is. See, practice, rehearse, 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 right? So those are the three key elements. Just rehearse. Talking to a mirror sounds stupid. It is not. If I ask this question, ladies, I may not ask because it's their need, right? Somehow. But in general, when was the last time you actually looked at the mirror to yourself and thought about yourself? Not funny. You may also be seeing yourself, combing your hair or something. Practical needs. But have you literally looked at yourself and thought, what am I doing in my life and where am I going? Right? So all this self-talk will always help you. So never talk negative. But yeah, while practicing self-talk, hear yourself out when you speak something. Right? See, if I say, simple example, if I say, I am going home, it's a dead low tone sentence. I am going home. So what do you get it? I am going home. But if I want to emphasize on something, I am going home. That means so far I have not gone home. Or maybe I am far from home. It increases curiosity. I am going home. Going means you are implying that right now you are going away. There is some curiosity when you emphasize on certain word. I am going home. That means everybody else has gone. I have not. So focus on a single word in just a three-word sentence is giving. Yeah. Understand. Points to add. Yes. Like yeah, I know you must have gone maybe this when you are present, but back in that day, I mean, like really busy all the yes. So as a PPT winner at least, and that too, these points came from the judge because I asked them a feedback when I gave my first PPT. Like I was kind of distracted. I prepared a lot for it. Like looking at the slides, but I did two mistakes. One, because I didn't know that. Number one was that I never saw myself talking, I mean, like in a mirror. When I talk, when I do public speaking, I don't know how I look. What should I do? So I didn't know that. Number two was like, but I got distracted when I made eye contact. The judge figured it out, and he was like, I noticed when you're getting distracted and all. So I will give you two tips when you're doing public speaking. One, if you think the eye contact may distract, right? If you think that you see a person and you might get distracted, don't see them, instead see their forehead. I mean, in fact, see everybody's forehead. There's only inches of difference from eye and forehead. So when you're like at least in this setup, I might look at your face, look at him in the eye, but in a larger audience, let's say I'm presenting someone something this and that, I'll not look in the eye. I look at their forehead, and by the angle that I'm going, people will think I'm looking in their eye, and they'll like nod and they'll acknowledge. But actually, I'm looking at their forehead. This is one tip. When you're doing public speaking, if you think eye contact may distract you, look at the foreheads. Number two, like you said, practice in front of mirror. Yes, that is very, very, very important. Like you should know how you're looking. I mean, your gestures, your hand movements, how your eyes turn, how your lips, are when you're speaking, how your face looks when you're speaking, how you move. So these things you have to practice in front of a mirror when you have to do public speaking. I mean, in everybody's life, at some point you have to do this speaking. I mean, like Akshay pointed out, suddenly your manager calls out and says, Shireesh, go stand there. I have two slides for you. Just you have to explain it. All of a sudden, if I'm not
practicing these things, I'll be very nervous. In fact, in an office environment, that's a negative report. Like, I mean, I'm not ready for a presentation means they'll be disappointed. So those two tips for you very early in your, college days.
Yeah, so that coincides with what's there on the slide again. Conquering the stage fright, right? That's where one of the tip look at the foreheads. If your imagination is strong enough, imagine there is no one, right? I know it's not, but sometimes it works out. Or imagine you're standing in a blank room, but that imagination only comes in when you practice in front of a mirror because you know how do you look, right? While you're speaking, while you're giving out those sentences, what are your face expressions and all. And I'll tell you the reality of speaking in front of a mirror. For the first 2 3 times, you laugh at yourself. What is this? And you will find it really weird that you're the only one standing in the room. You're the only one looking in the mirror, and you're laughing at yourself. And that's fine. That's the first stage of it. The moment you start seriously thinking about the content and practicing it, it will work out really well for you. Okay. Prepare thoroughly. The more you prepare, you are, the more confident you will feel. Visualize success. Start small. Embrace imperfection, and that's fine. See what happens. Even if I'm talking about this presentation, I will not have actually sat down and prepared. I'm just talking out of my experience, right? We all generally do that, and it's okay that sometimes we misspell something or we say some words, which we didn't think that we will say in this context. But at the same time, we'll take a short break, 1 second, 2 second break, and then we'll either correct it or put in the right word to fill in. Everybody's brain has a very short span of attention to those details. So, even if I'm speaking right now, I'll pause for a second and then I'll speak something. So you will be suddenly your brain will be refreshing to that new word and content that I'm saying. So you don't have to worry about what people are thinking, is what I'm trying to say. You can always correct it, right? So with that, we'll see if we have any Q&A. If not, we'll start with that impromptu. So do we have any questions? Because recently Neeraj, did a presentation and he won third prize. Yeah, correct. He just went impromptu. Okay, he thought he'll do project expo, but he did poster presentation.
Very good.
Yeah. So claps, yeah. You have to appreciate. I mean, college, you need claps from college alone. Huh? You don't want from us, huh? Yeah, please, yeah. See. Yeah. Okay. So
Now, one more tip. If you want to see, I mean, like what's exactly public, minute things you have to observe. I would say, I mean, I would recommend personally. I mean, it's not again some liking or something separately, but personally, I mean, because they are good orators. Number one is Rammurthy, obviously. Second is on KCR. These two, like when they are speaking in public, they speak very well. Like, I mean, they know they are pro at it, actually. They are very good orators. They take time, they pause, they give public the time to think. Then, they speak. When they have to speak continuously, they do that. When they have to pause, they pause. Everything. I mean, I would say they are masters of it, actually. Like, I mean, if you want to learn how to speak in public, then actually, see how they are doing it, not the content. They might be lying also, but that's okay. How they speak, what their body language is, how they move their hand, where they pause, where they think, if somebody asks them something, how they answer. You have to observe these things when you're looking at those people.
yep. Any questions before we move on to the practical session? You might have presented papers, presentations, small mini projects, extracts, all those things, abstracts, sorry. So, any,
So let's hear it from the winner. I mean, like, what he thought was tough, what he thought was easy when he was doing publicity.
yeah,
Maybe that's better for it.
because it was not his original plan.
That's good sense. So
Yeah, yeah.
he might have felt really tough.
The activity itself was impromptu for him. So,
Yeah,
building around
so
this is, yeah.
no matter how much we tell, coming from you will be effective for your guys.
Yeah. You can just take the mic and speak. Yeah, that's true. Don't have to stand. That's right.
It means like I have to share my experience as well as
Yeah, experience it.
but more focused on what. So when you were talking, what you felt was tough, what you felt was easy.
What was your thought process?
Exactly. What was your thought process? How you execute that?
it means like it is I took a actually completely different theme of a presentation. Means I don't know about that topic and just done research on that in the internet and just uh, sli- somewhat I have studied before presentation and just said that all the in like a confidence way and somewhat expressing and showing the presentation.
Okay. So he did a preliminary research before starting with the presentation. He just entered the room. He said, he was told that he has to present a poster. Poster has this so and so topic. And he immediately took out his phone and Googled out something. And then he stood there and he just connected the dots along with the other partners. I think there are two more people. One more. Yeah. So that's the basic steps we will also do. I mean, meetings when we are being called, right? We'll either ask a colleague, okay, what's being discussed? Okay, what has been already discussed? So basically, it's a trick question. You want to ask, actually, what is this topic, right? This is the right question. What is this topic? I don't know about. But you will ask, okay, so what has been discussed so far, and what's remaining for me? So with this trick question, that person will tell you what was discussed, and you will get the summary. Okay, oh, fine. Okay, this is about that project or something, right? Okay, I'll talk. So you have to be really understanding. But in these situations, there's no one to help you out. So you just have to Google it, just some understanding. So office situations are different. However, that impromptu nature of work is still same. Like for him also, it was just suddenly he saw something, he entered and he did it, right? So that plays well when you have done your preliminary basic research. Okay.
Then adds the confidence. Preparing,
Yeah.
that's why I said that you have to prepare well. So when you prepare well, obviously it sits in your mind.
Correct.
Your mind directs what to talk.
Correct. Correct. So, any questions or else yeah, Rimsha.
I'm not sure if this happens in office scenarios, but this is something I faced in college personally. It's like when you're giving any presentation, maybe XYZ, anything, uh, most of the times the audience, half of them are attentive, half of them are not. So, sometimes it distracts us. Like we also lose our focus towards the people who are distracting and also distracted. So, I mean, I don't know if that happens in office. If that does, then what can we do for
It
it?
happens. Okay. There are two facts here. One is a physical fact, one is a psychological fact. The physical fact is the physical environment around the person, what that person might have done before this meeting. Whether they just woke up or they slept late in the night or they have had a very tummy full meal. We don't know about all that. That's a physical thing. Some psychological thing is uh, if you're talking to a person or if you're giving a speech and you start saying people yawning, right? Uh, Trust me, psychologically it has been proven that when someone yawns, that means they are overworking their brain to understand what you're saying. Now, this is applicable only in the mornings or at times when you know that they haven't eaten too much. But after lunch kind of sessions are generally mostly because of food. And that as well is biologically, scientifically a process. It's not that they are actually not liking your uh, presentation.
Okay.
So stop blaming yourself. It's not you, it's them. Okay.
They start talking in between.
Yeah, of course they will talk. You know, just now Sirish was talking something and I was telling him something. So this is all human nature wherein, we tend to share things. Doesn't matter what the situation is. You have to treat it as human nature. You don't have to treat it as something opposing or something, towards you. Now, yes, it distracts because your expectation of this presentation is people sitting silent and you talking to them.
Right.
That's a one-way communication that you are expecting, but that's wrong.
Okay.
I'm not saying you are wrong. I'm just saying that perception, right? Just keep it a little bit mild. Don't think too much that, okay, if they are talking, that means they are not understanding me, then what's the use of me saying all this? And this all thought you will not think in detail, you'll think in subconscious. Hey, they're not listening to me. Uh, you forgot what to say next. This will happen.
I guess that's
This happens.
distraction.
This happens because somewhere down your heart, somewhere down your mind, you're thinking, if they are not listening to me, then it's not worthy to speak more.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm a psychologist.
But
That happens
yeah,
because
can I?
one second. Sorry, because as a person, you have put in a lot to practice. You have you have that okay, I would say presenter's guilt kind of thing that I've done so much. They don't want to listen. Okay, I'll walk out. Right? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Uh, Again, it depends on what type of presentation we're doing. See, because let's say we are having, I guess Akshay or cities have taken many sessions. So for those sessions, right, the main importance of that session is people have to understand. So for such sessions, Akshay has that authority to just randomly call a person and just ask that what is been discussed.
Okay.
That's a type of a session. But mostly presentations that you are giving it, or it could be a project presentation, can be anything. The main agenda or the main thing of that session is you just have to present it. You're not supposed to think what people are thinking because you don't have to validate with them. Okay.
Okay.
The main validator is the person who's judging.
Mm-hmm.
So if you focus that, or if you remember that only this person should hear my thing, I'll not get my distractions. I think that should also help.
Right. Works.
Yeah.
And yeah, small point actually. Because you said whether this is in offices, yeah, sometimes. But the difference between office and college, I'll tell you. When you are presenting in college and people will are distracted, they're not listening to you 50% researching. Because in college, they have nothing to do. They listen to you, they'll get to know something. If they don't listen to you, their academics, nothing is going to be affected. Right? But in office, it's not the same. In office, you are presenting something, and if people who are watching or listening to it, they know it is important. I mean, there is nothing in office which is for waste of time. Yeah, there are some people, maybe in the leadership, who love to hear themselves talk. They'll just blabber about anything. Some things are very boring, that. But mostly, if some, teammate or a technical person or managerial person talks, mostly it's important stuff. If they are arranging a meeting, that is mostly to be important. You can't waste so many man hours on some, major talk. So in offices, it will happen, but it will not happen very frequently.
Okay.
Right? So there will always be people who will not.
And there is a reason for it because most of the office calls are non-video calls.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't see people looking here and there.
Right.
I'll tell you honestly, there are situations wherein I may be sitting and watching TV, work from home scenario, practical scenario. I may be sitting and watching some show and there is a call going on. So my ears are there, my eyes are there. So I'm still understanding what they're speaking. The moment they'll say, "Hey Akshay, so what's your opinion?" I'll unmute and talk. That's out of practice.
Mm-hmm.
So as you grow with work, right, these things you can do multitask. Now, if you are on a video call and people start looking here and there, you have no control over human actions, so you don't have to worry about it. You have control over your actions, so ignore. Right? Don't get distracted. It's okay. I know it was worth practicing and worth presenting, but if they don't feel like it, you are not the judge of it. So just leave it at that.
So there's just this one situation where sometimes you zone out of
Ah,
what you will
happens,
ask.
happens.
I mean, it's just that maybe we have to just get it
Yeah.
over with. But yeah.
Yeah, zoning out is fine. I mean, you can convert that into opportunity. Like, I'm talking about a certain topic, let's say a certain etiquette that should be used in office, and suddenly I'll say, yeah, this kind of pauses are generally problematic. So don't be that guy who gives that pause. So see, I gave a pause unintentionally, but I converted into something as a subject matter.
Right.
Comes out of practice. Okay.
I think there was one other question.
Yeah. Sorry. Hmm.
So I know the content, but then the next sentence which can be too much in other sentence which might come in.
Correct.
Start.
Okay, I'll tell you what. See, since I know you personally, like Lakshmi Priya, since I know you personally, I'll tell you what. Your thoughts are faster than your words. So in order to do that, break your sentence into minimal three parts. Let's say you are talking about pollution. So pollution is the enemy of Earth, Mother Nature. So the pollution is the enemy of our Mother Nature. So now if you break it, when you're giving pause intentionally, right, you are not giving your brain to jump over the next part because you are slowing down the first part itself, the first sentence in three parts. When you are quick to finish the first sentence, your brain is pushing in the next one, right? So if you slow down the first one, the brain will be like, okay, so this was broken into three parts, so I have to push this first. So the same sentence that you have broken into three parts will be pushed first in parts rather than three different sentences at a whole. And because of this fast thinking, what happens, that's not stuttering. If you we slow down your speech, right, you've said everything. That's when your tongue muscles are trying to match up with the frequency of your thoughts. You have said it, but for us people who are not fast enough to think that way, we are not fast enough to hear what you said. That's not stuttering. If you slow down your speech, you have actually spoken that. It happens with me, it happens with Dhananjay, it happens with him, it happens with Shireesh, it even happened with this lady, Rimsha. It happens with everyone. No need to worry about it. Okay. I hope you got your answer. So you break the first sentence itself in part to trick the brain. Practice. Again, everything answer, if I say practice, it will be wrong. But yes, it is the answer. Anything to add? I mean, okay. Other questions?
After a presentation, there will be a Q&A session.
Correct.
So if the questions are not like based on something which you don't know, so is it okay to leave the question unanswered or
Okay.
how to deal with it?
Now, there are two situations. Either it's a very fast-paced situation where you have control over the audience, just what he was giving an example. Like in a situation when we are giving sessions in college, we have control over audience, kind of because we being senior and all that. So I can say I'll pass the question, we'll see to it later. But if that is not the case, it's more of a closed environment like these. Let's say for this question, I don't have an answer. Hey, so what I have to do cleverly is I don't know the answer, right? I mean, if I don't answer the question, it may send a message that I'm not that knowledgeable enough. Or maybe whatever I told was just by hearted, and I didn't mean it or I didn't knew about this, whatever topic I'm speaking. So what I'll do, hey Nuha, that was a really great question. I think I have to research something on it. I mean, I have to prep myself on it. I'll come back to you soon. That means my entire inability to answer the question is on the beautiful question that she asked, not me. Right? So that's how it works. Glorifying the mistake, yeah.
And about in a sessions question answer. And what about one-on-one like interviews or colleges like that?
One-on-one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's even simpler. For one-on-one conversations, take a 3-second pause and say, I really thought about it. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah, in interviews, at least. Yeah,
Take a pause.
I know.
Yeah.
In interviews, be truthful. Don't beat around the bush.
PN junction diode.
No, it shows that.
No, no, don't.
Be honest. Yeah. Just tell them that not sure about it. If they ask something out of scope, then be like not very sure about it, but given a chance. Over.
But in my opinion, I think addition to that, take a pause. That shows that you're thinking about it, right? You don't know about it genuinely. You don't immediately be too honest. Take a 3-second, 4-second pause and say, I think I thought about it, but I'm not sure yet. I think I don't know about it. Close it. Okay. All right.